And the Trump administration has charged Cuba's former leader, Raul Castro, with murder, fueling speculation that Cuba is next on America's radar after Venezuela. The charges against the former Cuban president goes back to 1996, when 2 civilian planes were downed. And in addition to murder, Castro has been charged with conspiracy to kill Americans and destruction of aircraft. Speaking to the press, U.S. President Donald Trump called Castro's indictment a big moment. He also said that the U.S. is freeing up Cuba, but Trump ruled out any escalation in the days ahead.
We'll see what happens, but we're freeing up Cuba.
Should we expect any escalation here, or should they expect anything? Yes.
No. No, there won't be escalation. I don't think there needs to be.
While later, U.S. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said that they expect Castro to appear in the U.S. by his own will or by another way. Earlier this year, the Trump administration had seized on a domestic indictment to justify military action that toppled and captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
We didn't indict. This isn't a show indictment. This is an indictment because we expect that there was a warrant issued for his arrest. So we expect that he will show up here by his own will or by another way.
However, the Cuban government has dismissed the charges as politically motivated and legally invalid. In a statement read on Cuban state television, the Cuban government condemned what it described as a despicable and infamous act of political provocation, arguing that Washington lacks the legitimacy and jurisdiction to pursue such action. It has also warned of fierce resistance to any U.S. military action. Now, the move has received support from Cuban immigrants in the United States, with some calling for Castro to face trial like Nazi officers after World War II.
I want that when they, U.S., go to Cuba, the first ones they should remove are Raul and Diaz-Canel, and some commanders who are in the government who were murderers there. Bring them here.
We should do them the same thing that was done to the Nazis, hold a trial, prosecute them, and make them pay for everything, for all the filth, for all the shit they have done in Cuba. Those people, I think, for me, are more murderous than the Nazis, worse than those of Hezbollah, and I was born with the Cuban Revolution in '58.
And to give us more details, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Take a look.
In a dramatic escalation against Cuba's communist government, the Justice Department has indicted former Cuban leader Raul Castro over the 1996 shoot-down of 2 civilian planes operated by the exile group Brothers to the Rescue, which killed 4 people, including U.S. citizens. Prosecutors say that Castro, then defense minister, helped authorize the attack alongside Fidel Castro. The move is highly significant because it comes as President Donald Trump intensifies pressure on Havana through sanctions, fuel restrictions, and also intelligence warnings over Cuba's ties to Russia as well as China. At the announcement in Miami, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche refused to rule out future action to bring Castro into U.S. custody, saying that he could arrive, quote, by his own will or another way. Whether this remains a symbolic legal pressure or whether the Trump administration uses the indictment to justify broader action against Cuba politically and economically or even militarily is yet to be seen. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.